Okay, welcome back to part 2 of the video. This one shouldn't be as long as the other one. In 1997, the Federal Trade Commission accused Gerber of false and misleading advertising. What might the Federal Trade Commission's claims be? So it says here that 4 out of 5 pediatricians recommend Gerber. You see claims like this all the time. How about here? More than 80% of dentists recommend Colgate. 9 out of 10 dentists who tried it would recommend it, and that's Colgate as well. So let's see what you said versus what I said. So it says here that consumers were led to believe that Gerber had competent or reliable studies proving that 4 out of 5 people. So what actually happened was Gerber skewed the results by weeding out doctors who don't recommend baby food at all and those who don't recommend specific brands. Now, this little footnote down here, barely able to read, says, a 1994 Contemporary Pediatrics recommendation study found that 80% of pediatricians who recommend baby food recommend Gerber. So those are just the people who recommend baby food. So it weeds out doctors who don't recommend baby food at all and those who don't recommend specific brands. So we would like to know who was sampled. So if you look at this in more detail, it was found that the sample was only 562 doctors. Of those, 408 recommended baby food, and that should say of those, 76 recommended specific brands. So we've weeded down from 562 down to 67. And of those 67, they recommended Gerber. So 67 out of 408 is only 16%. It's not 80%. So what they did is they took 67 out of 76 instead of 67 out of 562. The next thing is they continued to ask more pediatricians until they got the data they wanted and ignored the ones that didn't fit their claim. So if they asked a doctor and they didn't say that they chose Gerber, they moved on to the next doctor and didn't count that doctor's opinion. As well, just because more people prefer it doesn't mean it's better. Not so much in this case, but the numbers unfortunately might just be made up. That is a possibility that sometimes people just make the numbers up. Did you know it is a fact that 67.8% of all statistics are made up on the spot? 67.8% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Do you believe it? Well, the probability of this statistic being made up is 84.2%. And the probability of this statistic being made up is 76.4%, etc., etc. We can just make up any numbers we want. If you use numbers, people tend to believe that they're true. Example 7. On September 18th, 2014, millions of Scots voted on whether they want their country to become independent or remain part of the United Kingdom. Are these statistics correct? This says 50, this says 45, this says 6. When you add them up, you get 101. So, were those statistics made up? These statistics are fine. They most likely don't add up to 100 just due to rounding. That happens sometimes when rounding, your statistics don't always add up to 100. But sometimes you get more inaccurate results. So are these statistics correct? There are many times statistics blatantly don't add up. Is it an accident? Are they manipulated? Are they poorly explained? Or are they just hoping people don't notice? Now, this one might be because some people might have voted for more than one person. Example 8. A study in the U.S. showed a very strong negative correlation between the number of lemons imported from Mexico and the total U.S. highway fatality rate. Does that mean to make the highway safer, they should import more lemons? You take a look at this. More lemons, less fatalities. So, some relationships can be accidental. This is more likely due to a small or poorly chosen sample. Here's another example. Have they found the real cause of autism? They found that organic food sales have increased and autism have increased as well. So does that mean that organic food sales or organic food causes autism? Or was it just an accident? You have to take that into consideration. Some data doesn't have a relationship, it's just an accident. And the last example, a survey was conducted in June 2006 regarding the way George W. Bush is handling his job as president. The results are as follows. Do you see any issues with this survey? It says, how's Bush doing? All right, let's see what you said versus what I said. The survey question is too vague. What exactly are they looking for? How is Bush doing? There's no detail to that at all. It is a very poorly made up survey question. Sometimes poor surveys come from poor survey questions and it leads to poor results. So that's the end of the video. If you have any questions, please make note of it and ask your teacher during the next class. Thank you.